It was a film that always seemed a little off to me in some ways. Like as a kid, I could never really figure it out. And then later on, when I didn't watch it for a number of years, I went back and I watched it and went, oh wow, this movie's really gay. So my number 3 choice is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which I've always liked, but unlike some of the other ones, this one has aged really well with me. A lot of people didn't like this movie when it first came out because it quote unquote violated the rules by bringing Freddy into the real world. Sure. But I like the theories behind that. The idea that he's hitching on to a live person, kind of like a Manitou, and then coming into the real world.
And it was just the second movie at this point too. So how strong were the rules really?
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate any sequel that tries to break out and do something really different, which this one very much did.
Freddy ruins the pool party by throwing around plastic furniture.
And it was arguably the last of the main run of Freddy movies where he was genuinely a very scary figure. Mm-hmm. You know, he was still very darkly lit. He had the one-liners, but he wasn't the horror host yet. Yeah. He wasn't the showman yet. And the effects are really good. The makeup, the photography in that movie is beautiful. It was a film that always seemed a little off to me in some ways. And as a kid, I could never really figure it out. And then later on, when I didn't watch it for a number of years, I went back and I watched it and went, oh, wow, this movie's really gay. And I didn't see that.
It's really gay.
No, it is really gay. And
it's
you know
true,
what?
like,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting metaphor for being in the closet and repressed homosexuality. And I mean, and I, you know, whether that, and I know Jack Shoulder always says he never intended for any of that to be in there, but it's like,
dude,
Jack, it's everywhere in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
the gym
no
teacher
way.
Forgot the gym teacher who you find out it was in an S&M gay bar at one point is literally attacked by his own balls.
Yeah, you know, I do feel the same way, though. As a kid, I always felt like this one was unique, and I couldn't put my finger on why, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together with that until I was older.
Yeah,
I mean, number one, I thought it was unique and weird that, like, you had, like, you know, you had the final girl in Friday and in this, and all of a sudden now you have a final boy, which to me was interesting. It was different. But, you know, in those early 80s, especially as a kid, you looked past certain things. Like, that guy was dressed in the bondage and shit, and the first thing I thought of was, like, the demolition dresses like that. You know? Like, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I'm thinking like
that's back when Rob Halford was doing
before.
that. Like, yeah, Judas Priest
there was a lot of androgyny in the 80s
Yeah,
anyway. So it was like,
together, and then when he's dancing around his room and the outfit and stuff, I'm kind of like, oh, Corey Haim could probably do that. I've seen Zach Morris.
Well, you're a kid. You don't think about.
No, you don't have context for any of that as a kid. So,
right.
You know,
the part that sealed it for me, though, where I was like, okay, like there's no way all these people didn't know this, was the part where the gym teacher is getting like his ass whipped by the towel, and I was like, come on,
yeah,
like,
and
way.
The whole thing with him and his best friend Brady, he's literally going to Freddy and coming out to his best. I mean, the whole metaphor is so rich there that it's just like. And look, I think Mark Patton actually gives a very interesting performance in this movie, and I like Jesse. But even as a kid, I remember thinking he wasn't as masculine a male lead as you would see in films like
He's
this.
a screamer.
Yeah, and he has, you know, and so on. But I thought, well, that was an interesting. But again, it didn't really hit me till later. It's like, oh, okay. And when you finally watch the whole film years later, it's like this works on an entirely different level. And again, I really like the tone of it, and I really like the idea of Freddy trying to hitch a ride through this kid into the real world.
Yeah,
it's
great.
You know, I think that movie has definitely, out of all the films of the Nightmare series, I think it's the one that has aged the best in terms of my evaluation of it.
Totally agree. It's like my favorite one now, and I always appreciated it, but I appreciate it a lot more now. And I think like even being younger and seeing Mark Patton as like the main lead and seeing Freddy kind of like with him, and you know, being a young kid, a young boy, you know, you almost like related to it a little bit because you were so used to it being a female. And then when all of a sudden you're like, oh, this, you know, he could do this to me, you know, and I think I appreciated it back then. And I think I really appreciate it now because I kind of see the undertones and kind of see how different this really was for the time. And
This was released November 1st of 1985, grossed $30 million at the box office on a budget of $3 million.
It made more money than the first movie did. And that was, I think, the first indication to Neil was like, oh, we really might have something long-term here. Because then Nightmare 3 came out and went way past that.
This was, the second one was a huge movie on like Cinemax and HBO and stuff. Because I remember that one always being on like HBO, and I remember seeing it way more than any of the other sequels or anything. So I don't know what the story is with that, but it was always on as a kid. That was the one I was kind of more familiar with, and I always felt that part 2 had a kind of, it's definitely gay, like you said, it's got some gay stuff in it, but as a kid I thought it was really dark and just scary.
Well, okay, so here's the part I was going to say too, like it's got one of the best scenes in any Nightmare movie where he like reveals the brain.
Oh yeah,
you've got the body, I've got the brain. Yeah, but his eyes in that movie are insane too. Like the way that he's got like
we've got special work to do here, you and me.
And then there's the scene where it's got really great special effects throughout the movie.
Yeah,
I think that's why
him coming out of Patton, like it looks, you know, it does look very 80s, but it's super effective still.
Well, and just the way they shot when he pulls Brady up against the door and puts, you don't see it actually in his chest, but you just see the knives come through the back of the door and then come down. It's like, ooh, god damn, he dead.
And the baby
I think this is my favorite look of Freddy too, makeup wise.
Me too.
Yeah, I love the Kevin Yeager did a really great job with the makeup in this. Again, he was still, and he's kept in the dark a lot. So you never really get too many. You don't get a whole lot of clear shots of him in that, which was ironic because the video box has him right there in full daylight on the cover.
I think this is the one that has the connection with the Karate Kid as well, though. Isn't that right, Gary?
What do you mean?
If I'm not mistaken, it's shot at the same high school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That would totally make sense, though, dude.
And it's technically in the same universe. And I don't know if they did this as like an homage or what, but there is the All Valley Karate Tournament poster somewhere in that movie in the background.
Dude, I'm today's years old finding this out. What?
So now that means technically it's part of the Miyagi-verse. And so there could be a tie-in to Nightmare 2 on Cobra Kai if they do another season of that.
Dude, like somebody, I think, Patrick has confirmed it, that was the movie that I was thinking of. So
I've got to rewatch this like tonight because I had no idea that.
Well, that's just fun though, man. Like I love stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think it's amazing. Like, I mean, technically it could be like, you could have been a couple of years under Daniel's class.
Right,
yeah. That's pretty amazing, dude.
Daniel's son, Freddy is coming.
Wow.
What about? Wait. Look,
they can do anything with AI now.
The leg, bitch.
He should have did that.
Squeak the leg.
So you wonder though, when they're playing out in the field and stuff at gym, I wonder if it's the same field that they played soccer in.
It might very well be.
I know for sure, like wherever the lockers and stuff is, that's the exact same school.
Same lockers, the exact same ones, yeah.
So where Daniel was fighting Tommy on the soccer field is right around the same spot that his pants were pulled down and he was rolling around.
There was some fucked up shit going on at that school.
School sucks, man. I hate this school. It sucks.
Whack on, whack off. Yeah.
Imagine a movie where Jesse goes to Miyagi to learn karate to fight Freddy.
I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some DEADPIT Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decade.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So DeadPit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.